Well, continue on.
For Westminster, the Jerusalem Chamber, unless we're skipping this, enter King Henry IV, the Princess Thomas of Clarence, and Humphrey of Gloucester, Warwick, and others.
Now, Lord, wait. Put on my crown. Here we go.
We must have the crown.
Now, lords, if God doth give successful end to this debate that bleedeth at our doors, we will our youth lead on to higher fields, and draw no swords but what are sanctified. Our navy is addressed, our power collected, our substitutes in absence well invested, and everything lies level to our wish. Only we want a little personal strength, and pause us till these rebels now afoot come underneath the yoke of government.
Both which we doubt not your majesty shall soon enjoy.
Your Humphrey, my son of Gloucester, where is the prince your brother?
I think he's gone to hunt, my lord, at Windsor.
And how accompanied?
I do not know, my lord.
Is not his brother Thomas of Clarence with him?
No, my good lord, he is in presence here.
What would my lord and father?
Well, nothing but well to thee, Thomas of Clarence. How chanced thou art not with the prince thy brother? He loves thee, and thou dost neglect him, Thomas, as thou hast a better place in his affections than all thy brothers. Cherish it, my boy, and noble officers may mask the effect of mediation after I am dead between his greatness and thy other brethren. Therefore omit him not, blunt not his love, nor lose the good advantage of his grace by seeming cold or careless of his will. For he is gracious if he be observed. He hath a tear for pity, and a hand open as day for meeting charity. Yet, notwithstanding, being incensed, he is flint, as humorous as winter, and as sudden as flaws congealed in the spring of day. His temper, therefore, must be well observed. Chide him for his faults, and do it reverently. When you perceive his blood inclined to mirth, but being moody, give him time and scope, till that his passions, like a whale on ground, confound themselves with working. Learn this, Thomas, and thou shalt prove a shelter to thy friends, a hoop of gold to band thy brothers in, that the united vessel of their blood, mingled with the venom of suggestion, as perforce the age will pour it in, shall never leak, though it do work as strong as uncotum or rash gunpowder.
I shall observe him with all care and love.
Why art thou now at Windsor with him, Thomas?
He is not there today. He dines in London.
Ah, and how accompanied? Canst thou tell that?
With Poins and his other continuous followers.
Oh, most subject is the fattest soil of weeds, and he, the noble image of my youth, is overspread with them. Therefore, my grief stretches itself beyond the hour of death. The blood weeps from my heart when I do shape, and informs imaginary the unguided days and rotten times that you shall look upon when I am sleeping with my ancestors. For when his headstrong riot hath no curb, when rage and hot blood are his counselors, when means and lavish manners meet together, oh, with what wings shall his affections fly towards fronting peril and opposed decay?
My gracious lord, you look beyond him quite. The prince had but studies his companions like a strange tongue, wherein to gain the language 'tis needful that the most immodest word be looked upon and learned, which once attained, your highness knows, comes to no further use but to be known and hated. So, like gross terms, the prince will, in the perfectness of time, cast off his followers, and their memory shall as a pattern or a measure live, by which his grace must meet the lives of others, turning past evils to advantages.
Well, 'tis seldom when the bee doth leave her comb in the dead carrion. Oh, who's here? Westmoreland?
Health to my sovereign, and new happiness added to that I am to deliver. Prince John, your son, doth kiss your grace's hand. Mowbray, the bishop's Scroop, Hastings, and all are brought to the correction of your law. There is not now a rebel's sword unsheathed, but peace puts forth her olive everywhere. The manner how this action hath been borne, here at more leisure may your highness read, with every course in his particular.
Oh, Westmoreland, thou art a summer bird which ever in the haunts of winter sings the lifting up of day. Oh, look, here's more news.
From enemies, heaven keep your majesty, and when they stand against you, may they fall. Those that I am come to tell you of, the Earl of Northumberland and the Lord Bardolph, with the great power of English and of Scots, are by the scribe of Yorkshire overthrown. The manner and true order of the flight, this packet please it to you, contains it large.
And wherefore should this good news make me sick? Will fortune never come, and with both hands full be but write her fair words in foulest terms? She either gives a stomach and no food. Such are the poor in health, or else a feast that takes away the stomach. Such are the rich. They have abundance and enjoy it not. I should rejoice now at this happy news, and now my sight fails and my brain is giddy. Oh me, come near me now, as I am much ill.
Comfort your majesty.
Oh, my good royal father.
My sovereign lord, cheer up yourself. Look up.
Be patient, princes. You do know these fits are with his highness very ordinary. Stand from him. Give him air. He'll be straight well.
No, he can't. He cannot long hold on to these pangs. The incessant care and labor of his mind hath wrought the murie that should confine it in, so thin that life looks through and will break out.
The people fear me, for they do observe unfathered care and loathly birth of nature. The reasons change their manners, as the year had found some months asleep and leaped them over.
The river hath thrice overflowed, and no ebb between, and the old folk, time's doting chronicles, say it did so little time before that our great-grandsire Edward sicked and died.
Speak lower, princes, for the king recovered.
This apoplexy will certainly be his end.
I pray you take me up and bear me hence into some other chamber.
Scene 5, another chamber. King Henry lying on the bed. Clarence, Gloucester, Warwick, and others unattended.
Let there be no noise made, my gentle friends, unless some dull and favorable hand will whisper music to my weary spirit.
Call for the music in the other room.
Set me the crown upon my billow there.
His eye is hollow, and it changes much.
That's noise, that's noise.
Who saw the Duke of Clarence?
I am here, brother, full of heaviness.
How now? Reign within doors, and none abroad. How doth the king?
Exceedingly ill.
Heard he the good news yet? Tell it him.
He altered much upon the hearing it.
If he be sick with joy, he'll recover without physic.
Not so much noise, my lords. Free prince, speak low. The king your father is disposed to speak.
Let us withdraw into the other room.
Will it please your grace to go along with us?
No, I will sit and watch here by the king. Why doth the crown lie there upon his pillow, being so troublesome a bedfellow, polished perturbation, golden care, that keepeth the ports of slumber open wide, to many a watchful night sleep with it now, yet not so sound and half so deeply sweet as he whose brow with homely biggin bound snores out the watch of night. O majesty! When thou dost pinch thy bearer, thou dost sit like a rich armor worn in the heat of day, that scalds with safety. By his gates of breath there lies the downy feather which stirs not. Did he suspire that light and weightless down perforce must move? My gracious lord, my father, this sleep is sound indeed. This is a sleep that from this golden wriggle hath divorced so many English kings. Thy due from me is tears and heavy sorrows of the blood, which nature, love, and filial tenderness shall, O dear father, pay thee plenteously. My due from thee is this imperial crown, which, as immediate as thy place and blood, derives itself to me. Lo, here it sits, which God shall guard and put the world's whole strength into one giant arm. It shall not force this lineal honor from me. This from thee I will to mine leave, as 'tis left to me.
Warwick, Gloucester, Clarence.
Does the king call?
What would your majesty? How fares your grace?
Why did you leave me alone, my lord?
We left the prince, my brother, here, my lord, and who undertook to sit and watch by you.
The Prince of Wales? Where is he? Let me see him. He's not here.
This door's open. He's gone this way.
He came not through the chamber where we stayed.
Where's the crown? Who took it from my pillow?
When we withdrew, my liege, we left it here.
The prince had taken it hence. Go seek him out. Is he so hasty that he doth suppose my sleep doth my breath, my death? Find him, my lord of Warwick. Chide him hither. This part of his conjoins with my disease, and helps to end me. See, sons, what things you are. How quickly nature falls into revoir when the gold becomes her object. For this foolish, over-careful fathers have broke their sleep with thoughts, their brains with care, their bones with industry. For this they have engrossed and piled up the cankered heaps of strange achieved gold. For this they have been thoughtful to invest their sons with arts and martial exercises, when, like the bee tolling from every flower, the virtuous sweets, our thighs packed with wax, our mouths with honey, we bring it to the hive, and like the bees, are murdered for their pains. This bitter taste yields engrossment in the ending father. Now, where is he that will not stay so long till his friend's sickness have determined me?
My lord, I found the prince in the next room, washing with kindly tears his gentle cheeks, with such a deep demeanor and great sorrow, that tyranny which never quaffed but blood would, by beholding him, have washed his knife with gentle eye drop. He's coming hither.
But wherefore did he take away the crown? Lo, where he comes. Come hither to me, Harry. Depart the chamber. Leave us here alone.
I never thought to hear you speak again.
Thy wish was father, Harry, to that thought. I stay too long by thee, I weary thee. Dost thou so hunger for mine empty chair that thou wilt needs invest thee with mine honors before thy hour be ripe? O foolish youth! Thou seekest the greatness that would overwhelm thee. Stay but a little, for my cloud of dignity is held from falling with so weak a wind that it will quickly drop. My day is dim. Thou hast stolen that. which after some few hours were thine without offence. And at my death thou hast sealed up my expectation. Thy life did manifest thou that thou lovest me not, and thou wilt have me die assured of it. Thou hast hid 1,000 daggers in thy thoughts, whom thou hast whetted on thy stony heart to stab at half an hour of my life. What? Canst thou not forbear me half an hour? Then get thee gone, and dig my grave thyself. Bid the merry bells ring to thine ear, that thou art crowned, not that I am dead. Let all the tears that should be due my hearse be drops of balm to sanctify thy head. Only compound me with rotten, forgotten dust. Give that which gave thee life unto the worms. Pluck down my officers, break my decrees, for now a time is come to mock at form. Harry the Fifth is crowned. Up vanity, down royal state. All you sage counselors, hence, and to the English court assembled now from every region, apes of idleness. Now, neighbor confines, purge you of your scum. Have you a ruffian that will swear, drink, dance, revel the night, rob, murder, and commit the oldest sins, the newest kind of ways? Be happy that he will trouble you no more. England shall double gild his treble guilt. England shall give him office, honor, might. For the fifth Harry from curbed license plucks the muzzle of restraint, and the wild dogs shall flesh his tooth on every innocent. Oh, my poor kingdom, sick with civil blows, when that my care should not withhold thy riots, what wilt thou do when riot is thy care? Oh, wilt thou be wilderness again, peopled with wolves, thy old inhabitants?
Oh, pardon me, my liege, but for my tears, the moist impediments unto my speech. I had forestalled this dear and deep rebuke, ere you with grief had spoke, and I had heard the course of it so far. There is your crown, and he that wears the crown immortally long guards it your. If I affect it more than as your honor and as your renown, let me no more from this obedience rise, which my most inward true and duteous spirit teacheth, this prostrate and exterior bending. God witness with me when I here came in and found no course of breath within your majesty, how cold it struck my heart. If I do feign, oh, let me in my present wildness die, and never live to show the incredulous world the noble change that I have purposed, coming to look on you, thinking you're dead, and dead almost, my liege. To think you were, I spake unto this crown as having sense, and thus upbraided it. The care on thee depending hath fed upon the body of my father. Therefore, thou best of gold art worst of gold. Other, less fine in carat, is more precious, preserving life in medicine portable. But thou, most fine, most honored, most renowned, hast eat thy bearer up. Thus, my mortal royal liege, accusing it, I put it on my head to try with it as with an enemy that had before my face murdered my father, the quarrel of a true inheritor. But if it did infect my blood with joy, or swell my thoughts to any strain of pride, if any rebel or vain spirit of mine did with the least affection of a welcome give entertainment to the might of it, let God forever keep it from my head, and make me as the poorest vassal that doth with awe and terror kneel to it.
Oh, my son, God put it in my mind to take it thence, that thou mightst win the more thy father's love, pleading so wisely in excuse of it. Come hither, Harry, sit thou by my bed, and hear, I think, the very latest counsel that ever I shall breathe. God knows, my son, by what paths and indirect crooked ways I met this crown, and I myself know well how troublesome it sat upon my head. To thee it shall descend with better quiet, better opinion, better confirmation, for all the soil of the achievement goes with me into the earth. It seemed to me but as an honor snatched with boisterous hand, and I had many living to upbraid my grain of it with their assistances, which daily do grew to quarrel and bloodshed, wounding supposed peace. All these bold fears thou seest with peril I have answered. For all my reign hath been but as a scene acting that argument. And now my death changes the mood, for what in me was purchased falls upon thee in a more fair sort. So thou the garland wearest successively, yet though thou standst more sure than I could do, thou art not firm enough, since griefs are green, and all my friends, which thou must make thy friends, have but their stings and teeth newly taken out, by whose fell working I was the first advanced, and by whose power I was well might lodge a fear to be again displaced, which to avoid I cut them off. And I had a purpose now to lead out many to the Holy Land, lest rest and lying still make them look too near unto my state. Therefore, my Harry, be it thy course to busy giddy minds with foreign quarrels, that action, hence borne out, may waste the memory of the former days. More would I, but thy lungs are wasted so that strength of speech is utterly denied me. How I came by the crown, O God forgive, and grant it may with thee in true peace live.
My gracious liege, you won it, wore it, kept it, gave it me. Then plain and right must my possession be, which I with more than with a common pain gainst all the world would rightfully maintain.
Look. Here comes my John of Lancaster.
Health, peace, and happiness to my royal father.
What thou bringest me happiness and peace, son John, but health, alack, with useful wings is flown, as from this bed, withered trunk. Upon thy sight, my worldly business makes a period. Where is my Lord of Warwick?
My Lord of Warwick!
Doth any name particular belong unto the lodging where I first did swoon?
It is called Jerusalem, my noble lord.
Land be to God. Even there my life must end. It hath been prophesied to me for many years I should not die but in Jerusalem, which vainly I supposed the Holy Land. But bear me to that chamber, and there I'll lie. In that Jerusalem shall Harry die. But first get thee to the liquor locker, and let's get besotted together.
Ja.
Act 5 we'll skip. That is Shallow and Falstaff are bringing it up in there, thinking that, not knowing that the king has just died. And of course, we will find out why in scene 2 back at the palace.
Scene 2, Westminster, the palace. Enter Warwick and the Lord Chief Justice meeting. How now, my Lord Chief Justice, whither away?
How doth the king?
Exceeding well. His cares are now all ended.
I hope not dead.
He is walked the way of nature, and to our purposes he lives no more.
I would his majesty had called me with him. The service that I truly did his life hath left me open to all injuries.
Indeed, I think the young king loves you not.
I know he doth not, and do arm myself to welcome the condition of the time, which cannot look more hideously upon me than I have drawn it in my fantasy.
Here come the heavy issue of dead Harry. Oh, that the living Harry had the temper of him, the worst of these 3 gentlemen. How many nobles then should hold their places that must strike sail to spirits of wild thought?
Oh God, I fear all will be overturned.
Good morrow, cousin Warwick. Good morrow.
Good morrow, cousin.
We meet like men that had forgot to speak.
We do remember, but our argument is all too heavy to admit much talk.
Well, peace be with him that hath made us heavy.
Peace be with us, lest we be heavier.
Oh, good my lord, you have lost a friend indeed, and I dare swear you borrow not that face of seeming sorrow, it is sure your own.
Though no man be assured what grace to find, you stand in coldest expectations. I am the sorrier, would 'twere otherwise. Well, you must now speak, Sir John Falstaff there, which swims against your stream of quality.
Sweet princes, what I did in honor, led by the impartial conduct of my soul. And never shall you see that I will beg a ragged and forestalled remission. If truth and upright innocency fail me, I'll to the king my master that is dead, and tell him who hath sent me after him.
Here comes the prince.
Good morrow, and God save your majesty. This new and gorgeous garment, majesty, 'tis not so easy on me as you think. Brothers, you mix your sadness with some fear. This is the English, not the Turkish court. Not Amurath or Amurath succeeds, but Harry. Yet be sad, good brothers, for by my faith it very well becomes you. Sorrow so royally in your appears that I will deeply put the fashion on and wear it in my heart. Why then be sad? But entertain no more of it, good brothers, than a joint burden laid upon us all. For me, by heaven, I bid you be assured, I'll be your father and your brother too. Let me but bear your love, I'll bear your cares. Yet weep that Harry's dead, and so will I. But Harry lives, and shall convert those tears by number into hours of happiness.
We hope no other than from your majesty.
You look all strangely on me, and you most. You are, I think, assured I love you not.
I am assured, if I be measured rightly, your majesty hath no just cause to hate me.
No! How might a prince of my great hopes forget so great indignities you laid upon me? What? Rate, rebuke, and roughly sent to prison the immediate heir of England. Was this easy? May this be washed and left and forgotten?
I then did use the person of your father, the image of his father, his power, they lay then in me, and in the administration of his law, while I was busy with the Commonwealth. Your Highness pleased to forget my place, and the majesty and power of law and of justice, the image of the king whom I presented, and struck me in my very seat of judgment, whereon, as an offender to your father, I gave bold way to my authority, and did commit you. If the deed were ill, be you contented. Wearing now the garland, you have the sun set your decrees at naught. To pluck down justice from your awful bench, to trip the course of law, and blunt the sword that guards the peace and safety of your person. Nay, more, to spurn at your most royal image, and mock your workings in the second body, question your royal thoughts, and make the case yours. Be now the father, and propose a son. Here your own dignity, so much profaned, set your most dreadful laws of loosely slightest. Behold yourself so by a son disdained, And then imagine me taking your part, and in your power, soft silencing your son. After this cold consideration, sentence me, as you are a king, speak in your state what I have done that miscame my place, my person, or my liege's sovereignty.
You are right, Justice, and you weigh this well. Therefore still bear the balance and the sword. And I do wish your honors may increase, till you do live to see a son of mine offend you and obey you as I did. So shall I live to speak of my father's words. Happy am I that I have a son, a man so bold, that dares do justice on my proper son, that should deliver up his greatness. So into the hands of justice you did commit me, for which I do commit into your hand the unstained sword that you have used to bear. With this remembrance, that you use the same with the like bold and just, impartial spirit as you have done against me, there is my hand. You shall be as a father to my youth. My voice shall sound as you do prompt mine ear, and I will stoop and humble my intents to your well-practiced wise directions. And princes all, believe me, I beseech you, my father is gone wild into his grave, for in his tomb lie my affections, and with his spirit, sadly, I survive to mock the expectation of the world, to frustrate prophecies, and to raise out rotten opinion, who hath writ me down after my seeming. The tide of blood in me hath proudly flowed in vanity till now. Now doth it turn and ebb back to the sea, where it shall mingle with the state of floods and flow henceforth in formal majesty. Now call we our high court of parliament.
Forget about Shallow and Falstaff still in the country. Not going to scene 4.
Okay, we'll skip the rest of that speech.
For London, a street, enter beadles dragging in hostess quickly and doll tear sheet.
No, thou arrogant knave, I would to God that I might die, that I might have thee hanged. Thou hast drawn my shoulder out of joint.
The constable have delivered her over to me, and she shall have whipping cheer enough. I warrant her there hath been a man or two lately killed about her.
Nuthook, you lie. Come on, I'll tell thee what, thou damned trite-visaged rascal. And the child I now go with do miscarry. Thou wert better thou had struck thy mother, thou paper-faced villain.
Oh, the Lord, that Sir John were come. He would make this a bloody day to somebody, but I pray God the fruit of her womb miscarry.
If it do, you shall have a dozen of cushions again. You have but 11 now. Come, I charge you both, go with me. For the man is dead, the yew and pistol beat again amongst you.
I'll tell you what, you thin man and censor. I will have you as soundly swing for this. You blue bottle rogue, you filthy famished correctioner, if you be not swigged out for swear half turtles.
Come, you she knight errant, come.
Oh God, that right that this overcome might, while of sufferance comes ease.
Come, you rogue, come, bring me to away justice.
Aye, come, you starved bloodhound.
Good man, death, good man, bones.
Thou asked me, thou.
Come, you thin thing, come, you rascal.
Very well.
Scene 5, a public place near Westminster Abbey. Enter 2 grooms strewing rushes. More rushes, more rushes.
The trumpet has sounded twice.
It'll be 2 o'clock ere they come from the coronation. Dispatch, dispatch. Stand here by me, Master Robert Shallow. I will make the king do you grace. I will leer upon him as he comes by, and do but mock the countenance that he will give me.
God bless thy lungs, good knight.
Come here, pistol. Stand behind me. Oh, if I had had time to have made new liveries, I would have bestowed the £1,000 I borrowed of you. But 'tis no matter. This poor show doth better. This doth infer the zeal I had to seek him.
It doth so.
It shows my earnestness of affection,
It doth so.
my devotion,
It doth. It doth. It doth.
as it were, to ride day and night, and not to deliberate, not to remember, not to have patience to shift me,
It is best, certain.
but to stand, stained with travel, and sweating with desire to see him, thinking of nothing else, putting all affairs else in oblivion, as if there were nothing else to be done but to see him.
'Tis semper idem, for obesque hoc inel est. 'Tis all in every part.
Tis so indeed. Yes.
My knight, I will inflame thy noble liver, and make thee rage, thy doll, and Helen of thy noble thoughts, in a base durance and contagious prison, haled thither by most mechanical and dirty hand, rouse up revenge from ebon den with fell Alecto's snake. For dolls in it, pistol speaks naught but truth.
I will deliver her.
There's roared the sea, and trumpet clangor sounds.
God save thy grace, King Hal, my royal Hal.
The heavens thee guard and keep, most royal imp of fame.
God save thee, my sweet boy.
My Lord Chief Justice, speak to that vain man.
Have you your wits? Know you what to speak?
My king, my Joe, I speak to thee, my heart.
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How ill white hairs becomes a fool and jester. I have long dreamt of such a kind of man, so surfeit-swelled, so old, and so profane. But being awaked, I do despise my dream. Make less the body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gormandizing. Know the grave doth gape, and thee thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was. For God doth know, and shall the world perceive, that I have turned away my former self, so will I that have kept me company when thou dost hear I am as I have been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and the feeder of my riots. Till then, I banish thee on pain of death, as I have done with the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile. For competence of life I will allow you, that lack of mean perforce you not do evils. As we hear you do reform yourselves, we will, according to your strength and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to see performed by the tenure of my word.
Master Shallow, I owe you £1,000.
Yes, Mary, Sir John, would I beseech you to let me have my home with me?
That can hardly be, Master Shallow. Do not you grieve at this. I shall be sent for a foreign private to him. Look you, he must seem thus to the world. Fear not your event. I will be the man yet that shall make you great.
I cannot well perceive how, unless you should give me your doublet and stuff me out with straw. I beseech you, good Sir John, let me have my 500 of my 1,000.
Sir, I will be as good as my word. This that thou hast heard was but a color.
A color that I fear you will die in, Sir John.
Fear no colors. Go with me to dinner. Come. Lieutenant Pistol, come, Bardolph. I shall be sent for soon at night.
Go carry Sir John Falstaff to the fleet. Take all his company along with him.
My lord, my lord.
I cannot speak now. I will hear you soon. Take them away. Si fortune tormenta, spero contenta.
I like this fair proceeding of the king's. He hath intent his wonted followers, and shall all be very well provided for. But all are banished till their conversations appear more wise and modest to the world.
And so they are.
So they are.
The king hath called for his parliament, my lord.
He hath.
I will lay odds that ere this year expire, we bear our civil swords and native fire as far as France. I heard a bird so sing, whose music, to my thinking, pleased the king. Come, will you hence? And
See,
so end the two Henrys. And we go 2 weeks from now to, what's that speech, Peter?
Henry drinking the fifth.
Yes.
With a music fire.
Yes, I will know that speech forever, but never mind. Anyway, okay, 2 weeks from now.